Welcome back. With only 3 days to go before the start of the 54th ANC elective conference, we are having a conversation now with Professor Tinyiko Maluleke, a political analyst from the University of Pretoria. Just before the break, Prof, you were about to say the question that should be asked is, so I begin this interview in a very different way. You ask the question and then you answer it. What were you going to say before I rudely interrupted you?
I asked the question and you'll answer it.
Go, let's try.
What I was going to say is that essentially that this is going to be too close to call, this contest. I think the kind of 70-30 victory that we saw in Mangaung will not happen in Nasrec. I think that it's going to be very close between the two leading candidates. Whoever wins will not win with an overwhelming majority of the kind we saw in Mangaung. And for that reason, it's very, very difficult to tell ahead of the time as to what will happen there. It's all up to the delegate. The delegates, of course, come here with mandates from their branches, from their provinces, and from their constituencies. They have been told how to vote. But we all know that there is always the possibility that a delegate may vote differently from the way they have been mandated. That's the reason there is so much lobbying, and that's the reason there's so much contestation about how many branches, how many delegates, and coming from where. That's why there's so much pressure on the delegates, but it's ultimately up to them. I don't see any of the candidates walking away with a landslide victory this time around. Yeah,
let's just talk about the two candidates, and let's again, we don't have too much time heading up to the news now. But when we look at Cyril Ramaphosa and we look at Nkosazana Dlamini-Zuma, last week there were claims that the rand reacted positively when it was revealed that the numbers were favouring Ramaphosa. But right now, it's very, as you say, it's very difficult to tell. We as a country are in a very, difficult economic times. Downgrades, our growth is not looking good at all. Jobs are at an all-time low. Things are not looking good. Is Ramaphosa the man to turn things around, or is Nkosazana Dlamini-Zuma the lady to do that? Have we given enough credit to Nkosazana Dlamini-Zuma? Because a lot of people saying that it seems the media is favouring Ramaphosa and is not really looking at those incredible credentials that Nkosazana Dlamini-Zuma does have.
I think she has absolutely impeccable credentials, and I think South Africa and the ANC is quite fortunate to have this caliber of people contesting for the leadership. I mean, both of them, Cyril and Nkosazana, are some of the top people the ANC has produced over the years. And I don't think that any of them has any reason to be shy, or anyone has any reason to be attacking the credentials of any of the two candidates. I mean, if you look at them, each one of them has got such a stellar history within the ANC. They have done wonderful things, not just for themselves, but for the ANC and for the liberation movement. And Nkosazana Dlamini-Zuma, being a woman, having come this far, almost at the brink of becoming the first woman president of the ANC, this alone is a huge achievement. So I think the main difference is that people feel that the markets will be friendlier if we have a Ramaphosa presidency than if we have Nkosazana Dlamini-Zuma presidency. That's the one issue. The other issue is whether the Zuma project, that is Jacob Zuma this time, continues or will be disrupted. And that is largely also a matter of perceptions. And there are perceptions that the Zuma project is likely to continue under Nkosazana Dlamini-Zuma than it is likely to under Cyril Ramaphosa. And that Zuma project is, of course, is what has brought us where we are today. The downgrades, the state capture issues that we are facing, the administrative problems that we have as a country, and of course the social problems that are brewing in the country. And I think there's a feeling that we need to break that.
Okay. We leave it there. Professor, thank you for your views. And we'll see what happens over the weekend. I suppose that's pretty much so where we're at right now, just a couple of days away from it. But the views of Professor Tinyiko Maluleke about the conference, the upcoming conference, the 54th National Conference that kicks off in Nasrec, south of Johannesburg. That's happening on Saturday. The time